Ah! Oh, it's working! Yeah, good. I'm entirely too close to the camera. Sorry, webcam was fucked. And now it's working. And now I've forgotten what I was going to say in the video anyway. I remember. There comes a time in every YouTuber's career when reading the comments becomes more of a chore than it is fun. You feel like you need to correct little things and you've got little niggling doubts and you want to explain or extrapolate something you've said, or you just want to correct someone that's only slightly wrong in the first place but you still feel the need to, and there's just not enough time in the day. So it's very rare now that I'll actually go ahead and read YouTube comments, other than my own. Of course, my ego doesn't feed itself. However, today with all the Christopher Hitchens videos that have gone up, I've been reading a lot of those comments. I was on Healthy Addicts video. I came across 2 comments, not related to Christopher Hitchens, but they were just generally anti-atheist comments, just like the good old days. And you know what? I thought I'd put my bashing hat on. Bashing hat? My comment hat, only in the form of a video response. Video in question is titled A Proper Cup of Tea, and so I have come adequately prepared. And let's just first read out the 2 comments. They're from a user called HeadDockta, and let's just go through them. The problem with most atheists is that they don't understand their own beliefs. Right, so we've already come across some astounding stupidity. I highly doubt, Mr. HeadDockta, that you've spoken to most atheists about their beliefs. Indeed, the vast majority of atheists are very silent about their beliefs because they just couldn't give a crap and it doesn't come up in normal conversation. They say life is a football game. I've never heard anyone, no one say life is a football game. Everyone dies at the end, winners, losers, everyone. Right, but, we need referees and a rule book. Now, HeadDockta, what he's done here is brilliantly combine several theistic arguments ranging from atheism offers nothing, there is no point to anything because everything dies and there's nothing after in a new life, therefore everything is meaningless because you'll die. He's combined that with there's no morality possible, you need laws and guidance from God, and he's just smooshed it all together into one fantastic sporting analogy. Now, HeadDockta, I don't know if you've ever watched any sports, but the person on the field that gets shouted at and disagreed with the most is the referee in the middle. And yes, they apply the laws. The rule book is applied to the referee as well. If the referee's gone against his own rule book, then he gets called out on it. And that's what we have with the vast majority of world religions, is a very contradictory rule book. The rule book we abide by, our own moralities, is something that we can have conversations about. We can shore up any weaknesses that we find in any given scenario where some extra thing that we hadn't thought of before turns its ugly head into the situation, and we suddenly think, oh well, we didn't account for that. How can we change this for when this happens again? And well, fuck me, we've just invented civilized society. You need a changing rule book that can adapt to changing situations. We've moved on in the last 2,000 years. I'm not sure if you've noticed. All you're doing is swapping theism for philosophy, Jesus for Kant. Oh, hang on, the next bit's actually in complete capitals, so I shall have to do likewise. You are still a believer! What utter meaningless drivel. You cannot declare someone to be a believer without the fucking context of what it is they're believing in. If someone's accepted a certain philosophical standpoint over the teachings of Christ, then they'll have a reason for that, and it's that they believe in. Instead of that, you can't just saying that everyone accepts something, oh, therefore we're all the same, therefore I'm correct, by saying it was Jesus. That makes no frigging sense, you tit. You're an idiot! If you're really an atheist, then good and evil don't even exist. We're just animals, do you understand this? Only if you define good and evil using God in the first place. Which you shouldn't, because that's silly. The surest way of losing any meaning of good and evil is to relate them to God in any way, because to have any real meaning to those words, for them to have a concept within this plane of existence, then they have to be grounded by what it is that's good. What's a good consequence? I mean, do we relate it to happiness or well-being, or do we relate it to what God wants of us? Well, if good is related to what God wants, then what makes God good? He becomes intrinsically good in a little tiny circle of fail logic. If logic goes in a circle, generally it's shit. If good and God mean the same thing, then what is actually desirable about being good in the first place? We're just chemicals, bumping into chemicals. If I want to go out and pound a 14-year-old girl's in the ass, then it's neither right nor wrong. I'm just an animal being an animal. Do I actually need to address this? No. I think that all that really needs to be gotten through to you is that chemistry is fucking complicated. Last time I checked, dinosaurs didn't sit around and talk about morals and values. I'm curious to know, Head Doctor, when was the last time you checked to see dinosaurs sitting around tables? Does this happen frequently to you? I mean, when does this ever happen? Empathy is not on the periodic table. Oh no. Again, chemistry, complicated. Wood isn't on the periodic table, neither is a brick or a llama or any other thing that you care to mention that isn't an element. Let's try and visualise this, shall we? You let me know when this coin becomes a pile. Pile yet? No? Sort of a pile. Is that a pile? 17 pence? Is 17 pence a pile? At what point do the simple components of something become the more complicated thing? The point is that complicated things are built out of simple things, and eventually if we pile this up, not some bastard will call it art, and it'll be even better. 99% of atheists aren't actually atheists. So 1% of atheists are atheists. But if 1% of atheists are atheists, then only 0.01% of atheists are atheists. But then only 0.00001% of atheists are atheists. And it's like, oh, hang on, your maths is crap. Unfortunately, you don't get to decide what an atheist is. An atheist is someone who doesn't believe in your bullshit, and with that, goodbye and fuck off, thank you.